Tragedy struck at Wurukum Roundabout in Makurdi, Benue State, when a 400-level student of Kwararafa University, identified as Ella, was reportedly killed by police gunfire during a stop-and-search operation. The fatal incident occurred when officers from the Makurdi E Division allegedly opened fire on a moving vehicle. Human rights activist Ukan Kuruga, who confirmed the incident, described it as another unacceptable loss of innocent life and called for swift justice and accountability from law enforcement authorities. Ella, said to have been a passenger in the car, was hit by a bullet discharged during the operation and died from the gunshot wound. The motive behind the police shooting remains unclear, sparking outrage on social media and among student communities across Benue State. When contacted, Benue State Police Public Relations Officer Catherine Anene for response regarding the killing, in a brief text message, she stated, "I will call you back." No further updates has now been received as of press time. Calls for justice continue to grow, with many questioning the rules of engagement applied by officers during routine stop and search exercises. Ella's death adds to rising concerns over the excessive use of force by security operatives in civilian spaces, particularly involving young people, as investigations are expected to follow. Nigerians demand transparency, accountability, and justice for the slain student. This is another morning, another day to talk about police brutality, baseless and, senseless, unavoidable deaths. Just last week, a boy was going to write WAEC and he was shot to death by the police. And that episode of that dream and that vision has ended. Now today we have a 400-level student, probably on our way back from school or to our house. But a 400-level student in this country where education has become so expensive, training one child is so cost effective. You send your child to school and they're killed by, trigger happy police officers. What are your thoughts on this report?
Why is so pathetic, if I may say it? The issue of death, killings is becoming a way of life in our society these days. Today you hear, if not killed by policemen, you killed by bandit, one or two things, dead every day. You hardly wake up one day and you don't hear the story of somebody being shot dead or killed by knife, by whatever. And the thing is this, the funny part of it is this: the policeman involved in this action, before you know, he will be transferred, and the identity of that police has not been revealed at the end of it. And secondly, a call was cut across the commissioner. He said he will get back, and up to now he has not get back, because the why is his life of humans life in our country is no longer valid.
I want to ask
the policeman,
right,
on the check and stop and search.
That's exactly. Just hold on to your thoughts. Now, on a stop and search, right? Someone decides to probably not stop. What do you think the best ethical approaches should be, especially when you're talking about a car loaded and full of people?
The best thing there, I suggest, which they sometimes has been doing, they have your operational vehicle, and the operational vehicle run the higher speed, where it's always e-locks. Why don't they use their vehicle and intercept these people to find out why they didn't stop, in case they didn't stop?
Right.
You open a fire on a vehicle loaded with people, and you claim that everybody there were a suspect, and this is a commercial vehicle, for God's sake. It's not like it's a private vehicle. You open fire. What if you want to shoot? Why not aim on the tire?
No, now we are still on this tire conversation. When the boy was shot, the boy for WAEC in Lagos State, when that boy was shot, it was in Ibadan rather. It was claimed that the officer said he was trying to shoot at the tire but missed the shot
because they are not trained.
So now you have mentioned shooting the tire.
do you think there would have been a different report
The issue-
if this officer tried to shoot the
Okay,
tire?
I just
What
said.
about non-lethal methods
Good.
of, getting people arrested? Non-lethal methods of investigation, especially when dealing with people on the road and in public.
And secondly, if they wanted to, if the next thing I expected them to do, because there are a lot of checkpoints. After that checkpoint, another checkpoint. Why not you radio the next checkpoint
Right.
to stop that vehicle? Since maybe you have a suspicious activities about that vehicle, you want to, why don't ask the next listen, radio them to stop to vehicle number coming, so you can go there and then carry out your investigation yourself and your search yourself. And secondly, apart from blaming the police, I also have to blame the driver of the vehicle. In as much as he knew there was nothing secret in that vehicle,
Right.
because the police are also doing their job. In as much as the police didn't take the right decision, didn't do the right thing as of that moment, but they are also doing their job. You are supposed to have stopped, allow them carry out their civil responsibility, and at the end of it, if anybody is found wanted, the person will stand for whatever is being found around him or her, than jeopardizing the lives of others. It was not a driver, it was a passenger that had become the victim of this issue. So to me, aside penalizing the police, bringing the police officer to book, the driver of that vehicle also have a question to answer. What was he hiding? Because the police also have their weakness. What about the driver? Stop and search is not a new thing. It's what we are aware of. So you are supposed to stop.
Now, you have said that the driver has questions to answer as regards what he's carrying. But what then happens to the law of innocent until proven guilty that a lethal weapon is being used for whatever reason whatsoever?
That's what I'm saying.
Because if the man has been caught, it might be that, okay, let me say he had marijuana on. Is marijuana demanding of a capital offense, that a capital punishment as death?
Like I said,
Right.
the police officer did not take the right action.
Right.
And at the same time, the driver did not also do well not to stop
When he was asked.
when he was asked to stop. So the police officer that released that live bullet was not, in fact, he should be called to book, like I said, because they have their operational vehicle to intercept this young man or call the next checkpoint to hunt them down. That releasing a live bullet that would claim that somebody's life, because even you were aiming to shoot the tire and you may not get it right because the vehicle is moving. It's not a stationary vehicle. It's a moving vehicle. Understand? Cry aloud. So the police officer who releases bullet is not a professional officer. Because if he's a professional, if he's professional in his duty, in his professions, is not right. Is not what the action, the decision taken at that moment was absolutely wrong at that moment. So he was not supposed to do so.
Thank you so much.